All right, this is a Wera 1/2 inch to 1/4 adapter. This is the Wera 784 C1. This is half drive. This is 1/4 hex. Boy, that is a tight fit on there. Okay. All right, so why would I want to do that? Number 30 Torx. The last time I used these was when my dad and I built my flatbed trailer. You know, these are a self-tapping screw with a number 30 Torx. You pre-drill and then you run these through. Removing these after they've rusted in about 10 years can be kind of a challenge. So I'm hoping that might be a way to go. That wasn't exactly the plan. This is the insert bit style. This is the E6. You can see that Wera put the locking BB on the corner there. All right, so that's the Wera 1/2 to 1/4 adapter. I forgot to put this in the opening shot because I was messing around with it. So this is the Hazet 2154-2. So supposedly this Hazet 2154-2 measures on the inside. It's an inside measure, okay? It does not retract. It has no lock. It is just for measuring on the inside. And you may be wondering, how accurate could that possibly be? Okay, now you're like this. Oh, does it taper? Okay, how much does it taper, right? So that kind of thing. Okay, so let's look at this. 117 millimeters. 115, yeah, 117, okay. It's coming out pretty accurate. So then I can go all the way to the inside and I can figure out, okay, so I'm 105 millimeters at this top edge, and it tapers down to 97 millimeters, okay. It seems to be pretty accurate. They run the tape through a track, so no matter how far out this is, the spool inside here doesn't reduce in diameter, right, and get farther away from the screen. So 200 centimeters is the maximum length. So the minimum you can measure, I'm gonna say it's 80 millimeters, only in metric. All right, this wrench. Okay, this wrench is a Facom ratcheting wrench, fraction sizes on it, 5/16 and 11/32. It's a ratchet with a switch type reversing, and it's got an offset. 5/16 and 11/32 for the people that don't live in the United States. Number 6 machine screw nut. This is the nut size for a number 8 machine screw nut. This is a number 6 by 32. And this is a number 8 by 32. These are common sizes of small machine screws. So now I've got the wrench for the number 6 and the wrench for the number 8 on one wrench. Okay, so that is a look at the Facom. There we go. This I got at KC Tool. This is the Bicycle Set 13. So it's tire removal, Presta valve, and 1/4 drive hex. These are the two in the set, the 9502 and the 9503, and this is made in the Czech Republic. So it is a set of stacking tire replacement tools. Okay, so you've got your tire replacement tool, but they've put a couple of extra tricks up its sleeve here. So they've got a 1/4 hex here And then they've got this is for a Presta valve, which I'm not familiar with. I'm not a big bicycle guy. You know, they put some extra thought into how they can, you know, improve the design. I don't know how strong this plastic is if you're going to torque something, but all right. So the 9502 has the quarter drive hex in it, and then the Presta valve tool is the 9503. Okay, then I just could not resist yet another bit driver. This one by Bahco. This one is designed for the C6 and the E6 style bits. It has a magnet and it has a lock, and this is made in Spain. Yes. I was pleasantly surprised by this. This overmold that they've got here is really grippy. Let's look at these end-on. The diameter is slightly larger. Bahco's a little more expensive, but you can see the differences here. A little bit bigger. So if you're really trying to torque something down, the Bahco is probably the way to go over the Hazet. So let's compare the diameter. So with all these, you can see that the Bahco is slightly larger than all of those. This, of course, is a Japanese bit. The anvil size is not 9 millimeters. It's a 13 millimeter anvil. It's not going to lock into these except the central fix. It does lock into the central fix, but not because it's specifically made for it. And the amount of sloppiness on this is very minimal. It's really nice, actually. I would say it's probably equal to this Hazet. In fact, it may even be virtually the same. It looks to me to be the same amount of offset in depth of the locking BB in there. It's on the corner. These are very, very similar. I would say they're basically the same. Okay, there's a C6 bit in the Bahco. It's a very nice strength of the magnet, seems to be about the same. All right, so here's an E6. This is just what I had laying here. Okay. It's just a different style. It has different characteristics. It's very, very grippy right here on this overmold. So I'm very happy to add the Bahco bit holder to my bit holder collection. All right, so then I got yet another wire stripper, even very similar to the one I have. This is the Jokari, made in Germany, 100%. American wire gauge 24 to 10. All right. Okay, so they've got the depth gauge, the top cutter, and the ergonomic styling. How many different companies have rebranded this? Philo has done it, other companies have done it. They've got made in Germany right here. And I really like these wire strippers, although for the wire stripping function, I do like the Knipex, but I don't like the way this top cutter is on this. I like the openness and visibility of the top cutter better on the Jokari design. You can see the top there, and it works for the small stuff. Your 8 gauge. Okay, so on the large diameter mushy stuff, you can see that it does a better job on this larger diameter mushy stuff. But like I said, I don't like this cutter. Okay, so that's the Jokari. All right, and then I got 2 sizes of these small wire strippers. Just think it's time that I stop using my teeth to strip small gauge wires. These are made in Germany, and I've got the 2 ranges of the small diameter stuff. You know, anybody that's got any kind of an RC hobby knows what all this is about. All right, so the way that these work is you unlock this part. Okay, there you can see here that if I move it, it moves away. So what that does is that it's creating a depth stop of different depths for the plunger. That's how you're getting your differences in diameter. So then we have an adjustment for how much do you want to strip off the wire, and then we've got a cutter on the end. Trim that off. Of course that works, why wouldn't it? Color coded these. Alright, so let's use this one. Let's see, 0.5 is about in the middle. Let's do the depth gauge. So if you're doing a bunch of that stuff, there you go. These are the tools for that job. The Jokari small wire gauge wire strippers. Okay, and this is the Jokari Allrounder, made in Germany. And I decided to give this a try. Electrical wires we have in the States are not round, they're flat. And this Jokari is made for that. To open it, so this is the lock. Okay, so now we've got it opened up. Let's take a closer look at this. See, it's made in Germany. And of course, it's marked in sizes 2.5 and 1.5 that I hope translates to 14 gauge and 12 gauge. This is 14 gauge wire, so we'll go to the small one, the 1.5. Okay, that worked really well. We'll go here again, 1.5. Really nice. No, it did not nick the copper. So that's a nice clean cut on the 14 gauge. Okay, so what about this? Because this is such an annoying task, right? Over and over you got to strip this stuff back out of a receptacle. Okay, it's not grabbing. It doesn't want to grab on to 14 gauge. Let me try really squeezing it. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad. Here, let's do that one more time for the camera. Okay, it got it. I bet it's going to work better on 12 gauge though. So I really had to squeeze it, but it's doing it, and it's not damaging anything on the inside. Okay, so that's 14 gauge. Okay, it works really well on this gauge. Alright, so then how does it work on this? So this is an 11 millimeter offset right here. This can be removed, and it can even be reversed and put up here on the top. I'm not sure why you'd want to have it up here versus down there. I suppose if you're left-handed maybe. Oh, I bet you that's why. Left-handed, that's my guess. Alright, so it's 11 millimeter stop. I could feel it cutting into the insulation. Okay, let's just try that again on this. Yeah. So let's check the copper for damage. There's just a little bit of a nick right there, but that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Definitely going to get some use. And then I got this set of Pferd workshop files. I'm going to compare this to the Japanese files that I just bought, but I have another set that I haven't showed on YouTube yet that I've bought that we're going to compare these to. So I really like these Pferd handles, and I'm not sure how they work. There must be some way to release that out of there, and I'm not sure if this sleeve slides back. That's what I'm assuming is that this sleeve slides back somehow, but I don't know, and I'm not going to mess with that right now. Okay, so here is the labeling on the box. Not a whole lot going on the box. And now that I'm spending a little more serious money on files, I've come to value these carrying cases a little more because I don't want to put these files in a drawer and have them hitting each other and damaging each other. All right, so this is the Pferd set. They seem like very good files, but I can see that they pale in comparison to this set that I bought from Auto Fry. And these were actually on clearance. And these, when I opened up these, I have never been so impressed with files. These things are flawless. Absolutely, amazingly flawless. So, Vallorbe.
Vallorbe.
So it sounds like they're saying the L twice, like Vallorbe, Vallorbe, Glardon Vallorbe.
Vallorbe.
Vallorbe. You haven't seen perfection until you familiarize yourself with this brand, Glardon Vallorbe. These things are so perfect and so precise. It is absolutely unbelievable. These things are flawless. This smooth edge is a smooth edge. There is nothing from the cut coming over on this edge. So we've got the Swisses in the middle, we got the Japanese, and then we've got the German. All right, so there's just a little bit of burr coming over this flat edge. Okay, that doesn't happen on the Swiss. The Swiss is perfectly smooth all the way down the edge. Tsubotsan has a little bit of burr right there that catches on that edge. The only thing that I would knock on these Swiss files is these handles. Man, I mean, such a nice set of files. We couldn't put a better handle on there. I mean, this handle is, I would say, less than mediocre. So I think once you see it side by side, you can see the differences. The differences in the precision there. Apparently, this is the high-end treatment, the Val Titan. I believe what this treatment does is it moves the Rockwell hardness up from a typical 65. I believe that these files are a typical 65 Rockwell hardness or right around there. The Val Titan is a 75 Rockwell hardness. The YouTubers that I watched explaining these things about these files seemed very, very knowledgeable, far more knowledgeable about these than I am, and that is what I remember. It's just amazing the amount of precision in these Swiss-made files. If you use files at all, treat yourself and check out the Swiss-made Glardon Vallorbe. All right, so that is another German tool haul. I hope that was interesting and helpful, and thank you for watching.